Hey guys, it's Haunted House here. Today I wanted to do something a little different, switch it up a little bit and tell you guys about what I've been doing in my downtime. Now a lot of you know that I've recently been trying to learn how to play Fortnite, having just started at the beginning of Chapter 6, and so far I've been having an amazing time playing the game and exploring what it has to offer. But sometimes I get tired of being reminded that I'm old and that my reflexes are failing me and that I have a hard time learning how to play new games. I enjoy it. I enjoy being competitive and challenging myself, but every once in a while I just want to relax, Every once in a while I just want to sit back on the couch, and every once in a while I want to indulge in a little bit of a drug that I think that everybody kind of dabbles in to some extent. And that drug is, of course, nostalgia. Now, nostalgia is a hell of a thing, whether it's for a previous Fortnite season or a game from your youth. For me, I'm particularly nostalgic for a time when I played Destiny. Now, keen-eyed viewers may have noticed that at the very beginning of this channel, I had a video talking about my time in Destiny, kind of celebrating the end of that 10-year journey. In it, I said that I kind of saw the end of the final shape being the last kind of hurrah for me as a Destiny player, and that I didn't really see myself going back to kind of play that game in any kind of serious capacity. As I've been playing Fortnite as my primary game of choice recently, there has been, like I mentioned, sometimes where I need a little bit of downtime, a little bit more relaxation. Part of that was spent playing classic WoW for the very first time. If you're not familiar, classic WoW is kind of just World of Warcraft, but set back to how the game was in 2004 when it first launched. While I've dabbled a little bit in retail, I have never played WoW from back in the day when it was first out. My only experience was messing around a little bit at a friend's house with a character I made, but I had no experience with computer games, so it was a terrible time for me. I still enjoyed watching him play it though, so being able to finally go through the game and explore those different areas that I saw him play on when I went over to his house for the weekend, it's a fun experience. But I think a large part of the draw of classic WoW is the nostalgia. So once I got my fill of classic WoW and kind of got tired of playing that, I was looking for something else to occupy my time when I was not recording Fortnite. Because at the end of the day, I play games not only for this channel, but also as my form of relaxation to kind of let my brain decompress after a long day of work or spending time with my family. There have been a lot of episodes that have come out after the final shape in Destiny 2, and my initial thought was to dive in and try and see what kind of content was added with that, but it didn't really last too long. I wasn't as engaged as I had been previously with it. And that's kind of when I had a thought. What if Bungie took Destiny 1, assigned a small team to kind of refresh and revamp it, and re-released it in a style like classic WoW, where we started at the very beginning of Destiny and then slowly over time added new expansions, new experiences, and everybody could kind of level their characters together just to kind of recapture that magic of the very first time you explored the game. Now, realistically, I know Bungie is caught up trying to prepare for the launch of Marathon while trying to navigate what the future of the Destiny franchise is. And if the recent rounds of layoffs are any indicator, they're not really in any position to have a small team dedicated to reviving this game. But while I know it's unrealistic, I couldn't help but indulge myself in fantasizing about what that could be like. I'm somebody who's played Destiny since the beta. I got into the early access beta and I was kind of enthralled with it ever since. So I decided, why not take this time to delete one of my old characters and start my journey anew. Start fresh and just kind of experience what that game had to offer. Now, I'm not one of those people that is completely blinded by nostalgia. The benefits that we have received, the quality of life adjustments in Destiny 2 really make a massive difference. I mean, you can't even mantle in Destiny 1. The field of view is locked and very narrow, and of course, you only get 30 frames per second. But all that said, there's something about this game. There's something about the armor sets. There's something about the missions and the overall feel and vibe There's something about not understanding every aspect of the lore, not having all the answers laid out before us, and I think at the end of the day, that's what I miss, that kind of unknown on the horizon. Feeling like I could discover something amazing around any corner or within any cave. That's the kind of nostalgic high that I feel like I'm chasing. And when you add to that the fact that I personally enjoy the way the armor sets and weapons look in Destiny 1 more than the current game, and I personally enjoy the options we have for progressing our character, while I can admit it is a more flawed experience, I enjoy Destiny 1. It's nice to be able to go back and kind of explore that with those nostalgic goggles on and just kind of think back to a simpler time. At the end of the day, I know I'm kind of chasing the dragon with this. I know that you can never really go back to the experience you had when you first played Destiny 1 or any game. As the saying goes, you can never truly go home. You may be able to go back to the place you were before, but it will never, ever really feel the exact same. And I think to a degree, that's okay. If things didn't feel different now, then I wouldn't be the person I am now. I wouldn't have grown in any way. So while I'm nostalgic for those times and I feel a little sad that I'm not there anymore, at the end of the day, I am very happy with how my life has turned out and where I have gone and what I have learned and the people I have met. I wouldn't trade it for anything. Nostalgia has a funny way of kind of rose tinting any kind of memory we have, and even though when I look back at my time with Destiny, I remember all the good times. I remember the times I did have a fire team to play with and I was part of an active clan. Those rose-tinted goggles make me kind of forget how lonely I did feel during those times, how stressed out I was trying to begin my first major job that I thought was going to be the career I had for the rest of my life. I forget about all those nights I stayed up struggling, wondering what I was going to do and if I was ever going to meet somebody who would love me for who I am, if I was ever going to be happy at a job, if I was ever going to have a creative outlet that I could enjoy sharing with people. I think in life it's important to be able to kind of indulge in nostalgia, but not let it completely take over you, not let it kind of make you crave a time that didn't really exist, if we're being honest and looking at it objectively. But I think it's important too to understand that even though those times weren't perfect, much like how Destiny 1 wasn't perfect, I can still look back at those times in my life and enjoy them for what they are, and appreciate them for what they offered me. So that's where I am now. I'm still enjoying the Fortnite Chapter 6 Season 2 Lawless season, and I've dived into the OG Season 3 experience as well. But when I need to relax a little bit, slow down the pace, and think back to my past, both on the good times and the bad, to appreciate them for what they were and to appreciate even more where I am now, I'll know that I can always go back to that familiar tower, go back to those familiar strikes and those familiar locations, and for a brief moment I'll be able to step back in time, and I'll be able to look at those times and appreciate them for what they are. I'm not perfect and neither is Destiny, but there's still a lot to enjoy. As long as you don't become consumed with nostalgia, that's the big thing. Remember where you came from, appreciate the times you had, both good and bad, and be able to compare that time to now to kind of get a new perspective on how things are going. Appreciate what you have and what you had at the time. If you enjoyed this rambling about Destiny 1 and nostalgia, I would challenge you to pick up a game that you haven't played in a while. One that meant something to you when you were younger. Just revisit that game. Kind of see what memories come back and what feelings you experience. And just take time to be thankful that you are where you are today and that you have those memories. It's okay to visit the past occasionally, but don't get too caught up chasing that half-remembered dream.